All right. Pull it in, everyone. We're ready. Okay. So, hello, everyone, and welcome back to WebDM Plays the Dark Eye Adventures in Aventuria. We are back with our main cast, kind of semi, with one extra person who is occupying the seat that I usually go to first on our beginning hellos. So, I'm going to go counterclockwise just to keep that suspense up, and we can get to our special guest last. So, hi, Jim.
Oh,
How's it going?
oh man, I'm thrown off my game because
I
I'm
know.
first. Gosh, it's going great. I'm glad to play Gerion again. He's got a little bit more backstory since the one shot we played last week, and yeah, I'm excited because I think last time Gerion was in one of those this could be terrible moments for a character where it's like, yeah, let's do that. Let's go alone into the bad guy's house, unarmed with a street urchin. What could go wrong? Find out.
Go wrong. Who knows? Speaking of what could go wrong, we now go down to Sharing. Hello, friend. How are you doing today?
I am very well. I had a lovely day today, and I had a lovely meal just now. And right before this, I was writing an essay about Dialect by Thorny Games, and it's a really amazing game. So I'm in a very good mood.
Excellent. And who do you play again, just to refresh
Oh, sorry.
memory?
Oops. Lol. My name right now is something else. I should change it in Zoom. So I am playing Tariq Azar, who is a black mage who has a lot of backstory, but does not remember a lot of it because it's taken away from him as punishment and various other things that his guild imposes on him. So, who remembers his backstory?
Backstory, that's for other people. Speaking of other people, one of my favorite people in the world, Emma, hi.
Oh, you're one of my favorite people too, Susie. I'm so excited. I'm happy to be here. I've had a good day. It was ridiculously productive. I laid down a rug that, had I not done it today, would have stayed on the stairs for at least 6 months. I did it. And Jim Davis, he knows. He knows. I did it for him, really.
Nice. What colors are dominant in this rug?
It's like a what is it called? It's kind of like a bohemian, it's like semi-faded, like indigo blue and a little bit of like a dark purple in the middle. I can give you a picture if you want. Not you all, but you all. I can give you play because it's rug. But I'm playing Ortlieb, who would be just as excited about the rug as I am, because it means I get to use my desk again. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a business expense. This rug.
Bohemian purple.
No, it sort of is. And yeah, I'm playing Ortlieb. He's gonna have the time of his life today. It's gonna be great. The HSO. Gonna be good. He owes it all to you. Anyway, moving on from that very bad joke, we go to Grant. Hello, Grant. How are you doing?
I'm good. It was the same joke I was thinking of in my head. Thank you for saying it out loud, though. Hi, everyone. My name is Grant Ellis. You saw me on the pre-show. And this week, I will be playing Goosewyn Spinola, the Horatian Blessed One of Travia. You might remember her as Little Goose from the one shot. She was an innkeeper, and she has a pre-existing relationship with Gerion in a sense. He did kind of like defile my blessed bags and things like that. No hard feelings, but it does hurt, and wounds take a time to heal, and maybe there should be some recompensation. And yeah, she talks like that the entire time. I'm sorry.
That's amazing. No, that's way better than any character voice I have done in this campaign thus far. So thank you very
bless. I don't know. Your ogre was pretty badass.
And I am Susie. I am the game master for this campaign. I too have had a very good weekend thus far. It was my wedding anniversary yesterday when we recorded this, my very first one. And we watched Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, as all couples should do to bond anniversaries. So with that eldritch horror that I've witnessed this weekend firmly in place, let us return once again to our wonderful campaign and our fine friends. I would actually like to start this week with Gerion, who I believe had made the decision last time to sneak into Magistrate Nadia Qureshi's house with the urchin.
Yes.
That
is true.
That is true.
I don't regret that
do
decision
that.
either. Even in all the time that's passed, I'm still committed to it.
Excellent. Well, en route to this place, are you deciding to proceed stealthily through the streets to get to her sort of residence? Are you like casual until you get to the spot and then you're like
Yeah, it's the middle of the day, right? Like
yes.
it's okay. So I'm going on the assumption that most of the staff and her entourage are probably getting ready at the tournament. That's what he's going on. So it's casual until we get within the vicinity, and then I'll follow Jehif's lead. So that, I don't know where this guy was named. Is it a Y or a J? We'll see.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? You are following said urchin through the street who's playing things off really casual. He walks past the store. He's like, all right. And he's, chatting. He's being a little Gavroche. Everyone loves him, even though they know he's a little shit. But is at this point where our camera pans away from Gerion and said urchin and towards Goosewyn. So the tournament has kicked off in earnest. People are everywhere. It's never been busier here in Havana. You, I would say, probably are in the midst of the sort of market area at present. And whether you're grabbing a bit of lunch or you're just popping around to see what new stalls have opened up, with the arrival of the tourney. You are amidst a crowd, but because he's rather noticeable, as you're perusing the wares, you happen to see Gerion walking through the square.
Oh, I might tag along. What I'd like to do is I'm not gonna pinch him. Goosed ya. So for those of you watching, as a follower of Travia, our sign and constellation we follow are geese. So I have like a goose embroidered on my yellow vestments and an orange collar. And at this point, I'm what's known as a wild goose. So I am a Travia worshiper who is proselytizing around the world. And I think what I would do is I'd have a delicious pie that I've been trying to sell. Because if I don't sell my pie, I will not have enough money for the inn tonight, and I will be forced to sleep in the streets. And what life is that? So I'll sidle up to the good sword master who I knew from many moons ago, and just kind of like, good sir, could I tempt you with a slice of delicious elderberry pie?
Not right now. No, not right now. Do I know you?
Your face is so kind and familiar.
No one has ever said that.
Hey, you are the one who returned the singer to Travia's retreat.
Oh yeah. No, Lord.
Better be careful. Her voice is turning into Flatteroy. Her voice is turning into Porky Pig, and I better be careful. The retreat, the hotel. Goodness gracious! Well, it's so good to see a familiar face, and I mean, it's just if I don't sell this pie, which is delicious and is blessed, with godly powers. I'll be forced to sleep in the gutters, good sir.
You're trying to... Do you want me to buy it?
Absolutely, you look famished. You're nothing but bones you've wasted away.
I mean...
Why don't you sample a taste, and it's one of those things. Well, what are you involved in? Perhaps I could be of assistance.
Immediately regrets it. Well, me and my son are...
Oh, that's my dad.
we're making our way.
Such a good actor.
You have a bad father. No, I don't say that.
Why do you
He
think I
has
was
drunk
seeking
man's
funding
breath.
to come to Havina? Yeah, we're on our way to the tournament, and I've got my hands full.
I could
Can't
provide.
take him anywhere.
I could provide extra hands. I have 2 once I'm free of the pie.
But then that'd be one of mine. You know what? Here, and he's gonna take out. Just how much? How much is it? I have some coins. I don't want to.
Oh, just the standard cost of the honeymoon suite. No, not the honeymoon suite. I'm just staying off yonder. Just a little this, a little that, and I name this the standard fantasy prize for room and board at a tournament. An Aventurian evening.
Right.
That's the cost of a single pie?
Well, it's a blessed pie.
right?
Oh,
okay, it's
okay,
blessed.
okay.
It's certainly.
And yeah, out of characters, that's actually my abilities. I can bless food and cause it to have a bunch
wait,
of
really?
powers and stuff. Yeah, that's one of
wow.
it's the Travia thing.
Oh my god.
Purify them.
Solo with Ortlieb.
What does it mean when a pie is blessed?
I can remove all the poisons from it, and I can also get them to add positive bonuses to certain things. And not only that, most people when they bless food can only do a meal at a time. I can do 6.
6 meals.
Nice.
Economy.
Nice.
We're one of those mega churches, dagnabbit. No,
Yeah.
drums play in the
If I
background.
didn't like saying Fortress of Your Intellect so much, I would have made that character that can bless
Goosewyn,
me.
So,
and that I'm gonna look up Strong's recipes and I'm gonna be like, so this has miso caramel.
So caramel!
Yeah, but yeah. So I'm just saying this is a special pie, so it's the cost of a room, and just for the night. And you wouldn't leave me to travel alone in Havina, would you? I give you the eyes.
you gotta give the eyes. Yeah, I mean, Grind's sort of
I
remembering.
roll for seduction. You're pregnant. No.
Counter to that with my willpower.
Night blind. No.
Yeah, so he's gonna remember. Oh yeah, okay. There was that time. It was me and 2, and the goose. Did I give you your bags back?
If you recall, I snatched it from you forcibly because you let the wild folk into our village. We now have to sing their songs, which, by the way, has burned down. Travia's retreat is no more. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's
Those
a shame,
wood
I
people
guess.
had enemies. They followed us right in.
Well, what can I say? I didn't know that was going to happen. I'll give you. All right, I'll give you 5 silver thalers for it.
Oh, thank you so much, good sir.
Yeah.
Really
Do you
appreciate it.
give coins or do you just give a ring?
He has
normally?
pocket change, but his wealth is in jewelry.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. He's
Also,
got,
for what it's worth,
bus money.
my disadvantages are gullible and poor max ranks. So,
Are you by chance married, Goose? I know a very wealthy merchant who
You can cook together.
Ortlieb taught me how to love a man and scold a child. Sorry, but
do you have the pie right here?
yeah, I hand it, and it's delicious. It smells day old, but
Sure.
hits the
I mean,
spot.
pies need a good day to settle.
Is it a sweet pie or a savory pie?
Yeah.
Oh, this pie is very sweet.
Now, is it like a hand pie? Can I take it with me? Is it a pie plate?
Yes, and I want the dish back.
You want the dish back?
Washed,
Facts.
preferably.
Washed.
Preferably.
All right. Okay. I don't have a watch, so I have no idea what time it is. But Gerion feels like it's time is running out. All right. Okay. Well, just give me the pie. If you need a place to sleep, here's where we're staying. I'm, and he's gonna give directions to the townhouse, just because it's like maybe that's the quickest way.
He's asked me to share a bed with him. So sudden. Sorry.
You could eat the pie and feed it to your son and get the blessings.
Yeah, we're gonna split it. Me and this is my son, right? And yeah, we'll just start eating it there in the street.
Yeah, as you walk, right? Just
We've
pie
killed
away.
Susie and Emma.
Pie away.
Just take out his knife, cut it up into like eighths. Just take it back.
That's your dinner right there.
Yeah.
You have a special blade that you just press down and one just... It's your
He has a pie
gun.
knife, Gerion.
Yes.
It's folded as a ring. You can like unwrap it as a pie knife.
Exactly. So yeah, they'll eat it and like they'll make like they're gonna walk off, assuming that this sort of like he's bought her off, right? Got the pie here, you can stay here, like everything she needed, he's addressed. Maybe she's out of my life, and he's gonna attempt to walk off.
Oh, and
assuming
I say,
she's gonna not follow him.
If you don't mind, there's been some folks in these parts that have been giving me the old tempted eyes. I don't feel safe if I wander alone. If I just might follow along, they might, you being a great warrior and all,
Certainly.
a finder of flatteroys,
Right. So
slayer of skeletons.
Here's the deal. We're running into trouble, or we're not running into, we are seeking out trouble, heading to it directly. I don't want to put you in any kind of danger, or I feel like it'd be bad if a priest, if I got them hurt, and so I feel like that would be, bad for me.
She's going for
And
broke.
Yeah.
She's going to take you by the hand. She's going to be like, well, a saint's place is among the sinners. She kind of like brings your hand close to her heart.
Good point. Okay, well, can you keep your mouth shut?
I'll try my best. I'll keep an eye on the kid.
Okay, here's another question.
Shouldn't lead a kid into trouble either.
He's my kid, so he gets in trouble all the time. How are you?
Stood there with his hands on his hips, like with the biggest. If it was a cartoon, he'd have a huge halo above his head as he's trying to look as sweet as innocent as possible.
Satan, an angel.
He is. He really is. All right. You know what? We might need a lookout. So come on. And then he offers her a piece of her pie.
I swallow it whole without chewing. That's how gooses eat.
Like a snake.
I unhinge my jaw just down the hatch. No, Oh yeah, I also have Sleepwalker as a disadvantage.
Nice. I'm a late sleeper myself. So yeah, I guess Goosewyn's coming with us. And Gerion's just gonna try to give Jeff a look of don't know, I guess we're all right. And as they go along towards Magistrate Nadia's house.
Excellent. Okay, so for heretofore, we are putting a ban on the P word. It is not being said for the rest of the session because I cannot look at Emma right now without dying. So, you move forward towards Magistrate Koreshi's humble abode, which as you grow closer, you see is absolutely not a humble abode at all. This is a really nice mansion. Really, it's separate. It's got its own little grounds. Yes.
I thought you cut. Sorry.
Okay. It has its own little gardens. It's got like a little fence around it. It's one of these like 2-story dealies. It's got little wings. It's not a palace by any means, but it's definitely modeled after palaces, just much smaller. With a big doorway that's just far too big for a house, but looks impressive nonetheless. You can see there are a couple of guards posted out front, but this area is still fairly well trafficked. There are still quite a few folks coming and going, so you're able to do a little bit of external reconnaissance without looking too shifty. It's not too suspicious that you would be in this area.
Yeah, I think on the way there, Gerion might be actually having a priestess of the goddess of hospitality might make us less conspicuous. right? Like we're just here with this a silly goose, wild goose. I don't know. And
I'm a wild goose, but my actual title is a little goose.
little goose. Okay.
Small.
Oh, I'd have thought you'd made a promotion.
No,
like
they don't do that when your inn burns down.
Oh, well, that wasn't my fault.
They sent me off as part of my penance. I have to wander the earth for the next 40 years.
Yeah. How's Gus?
Well, he didn't make it.
No, but his family owned that inn.
His family owned the inn, and he didn't make it. And he spoke very fondly of you, and he would rub it in every time about the time he played cards with the fancy boy, the prince with the tattoos. Mm-hmm. She was convinced too was a prince. They all were.
Told them he was. You know?
Yeah, that was fun. So it's like Gus didn't make it. None of the violinists made it. I was the sole survivor. I know tragic fantasy backstories is kind of a played out trope, but mine has a unique twist. You have to buy the book to find out what that is. There is no book, audience. I just went down the tragic backstory because I was out of ideas.
As Gerion and Goosewyn catch up, he's hoping that her presence will like make them stand out less, right? Like that they can kind of move about the manor and not look like they're casing the joint. They're just with the priestess helping her through the city.
Yeah, absolutely. You are just taking a nice little walk with a priestess, absolutely not casing a joint. But I would like, as you are definitely casing the joint, to hit me up with a, let's think. Let's have, oh God, this is tiny fonts. Perception, as you are looking around for any sort of entrances or, you know, sneaky areas, quiet areas that you could access this building.
Yeah, here we go. Perception is not too bad. So perception is, let's see, sagacity and intuition. Oh man, that was one of those, I won't ever need a skill that sagacity. Here we go. Hey, all right. So we've got, I spend 1 point to lower my sagacity down to 9, and then first intuition roll is good. Second one will need 2 points. So that's 3 total. It's going to put me at 3 left over, which I believe is a QL of
2,
1.
I think? Oh, 1?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So as you are taking this casual walk and, you know, noticing entrances and exits where you can, there is one area towards the back of the property that is quite secluded. This is where there's a lot of shrubbery, like a big tree that's casting a shadow today with the position of the sun. And it's towards an area that is not well trafficked. You know, you're not going to see a lot of people back there. It's the quiet place. It's shaded. It is a very nice entrance point if you were to get into the property. You can also see at this level, there's they've got big grand windows all on this lower level. And as you're sort of peering through, you can see there is a window back here that is open.
So I'm remembering we'd sent Jeff in just to figure things out. He had said that there was a lot of like there was a room of some kind, maybe a secret room with like snake iconography and the like. And that's when Karai was like, all right, you take me there to look at it because it seems significant. Okay, just refresh my memory. I'm gonna kind of like not follow his lead, but sort of like, all right, which, you know, is this where you went in? How do we get up there? Like have him kind of like direct us where we need to go.
All right. So Jeff's like, oh, so I think it was around this sort of area where I got in before. I might have even left that window open because I'm just that good, you know. I thought somewhere in the back of my mind, I thought Mr. Gerion will want to see this stuff himself, so I better leave another entrance way in so I can get in, you know. So because I'm just, you know, that's just. And he's like bigging himself up. So we need to be quiet as little mice, right?
Yeah.
On a little tippy toes, and we're going to sneak our way across that garden in that window, and I'll take you right to that creepy fucking study because snake stuff everywhere.
Let's do it. Yeah. And then he remembers he's got Goosewyn with him. You want to stay here, or he's like literally like he forgot he was going to do a crime in front of.
Yeah,
do crimes.
I could use my liturgical chant to make you not. No, yeah, it gives you the disadvantage of the Church of Travia. It's like, oh, she shamed me. No, I'm just like.
Wait, what advantage did eating the pie give you? By the way,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the question.
Oh, you ate that pie.
The blessed pie, yes.
Well, your bowel movements will remain regular. I'm not supposed to do poop jokes on stream.
That's true. That's true.
Let me double check. So I can double check Travia's thing here.
So let me approach this a different way. The question Jim is looking for myself, and I'm sorry, Emma, because I am going to refer to myself in the third person.
I forgive you. In this context, it makes sense. In this intuitive, all other contexts, I hate it.
It's not. I understand. He's curious. Like, is Goosewyn going to come with them? Is she going to look out? Like, what are you like? Where do you want to be in this little moment, Grant?
Oh, I'm going to go with you. Look. I can't be seen alone at this place. There's too many eyes. I can't be alone. So essentially, here's what the pie would have done. If you had any levels of stupor, they'd be gone. So if you had the stupor condition, it would remove it.
No stupor. Maybe it just feels a little brighter, just a little sharper.
A little brighter, a little sharper.
I love that unstooping pie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This is what you drink, it's what you eat after a night carousing. You know?
Oh, yeah. It's like junk food. Yeah.
On any other day of the week, this would have been amazing.
Or after a night with me and the blacksmith, you could feed him some of that pie, you know,
might need
to cure his stupor.
You might need to.
We've lost Emma again.
Yeah.
So
there we go. It's all right. Gerion turns to Goosewyn, is like, oh, you can always just stay out here and
I'll do that.
Keep an eye out.
I'll keep an eye out. Do you want me to give you like a sign? If like what am I looking for?
Guards, authority figures.
Figures, and if anyone does come looking for you, should I tell them that you went a different way?
I just would tell them I'm not here at all. You know, just,
you don't exist. There is no Gerion.
There isn't. No, you don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that for you.
Okay. Yeah, we won't be too long. And I guess
if you are too long, should I come looking for you?
If it seems safe, but if it seems dangerous, you might want to go to that address I gave you and see if anybody's there who could come help.
So how many Mississippi alligators do I count before I go looking for you?
Let's see.
1 Mississippi alligator, 2 7,031 Mississippi alligators, Goosewyn. All right.
Yeah. However much 30 minutes would be.
Okay. So 60 times 30. That's something like... 1,800 or something like that. I don't know. She'll count.
Okay. We'll do that. Yeah. And Geri's just going to be like, we got to get rid of this priestess. And it's going to follow Jeff into the house.
Jeff hears you mutter this to yourself. He goes, Mr. Gerion, if she's that much of a problem, I do know a guy who lovingly calls what he does pest control. But I definitely did see him with 2 human legs under his arm once. So,
Mm-hmm. I feel like I feel pretty bad if something happened to her. Maybe we go with a downgrade from the pest control to pest management, which is
What?
the same, I guess.
Semantics. But hey,
Okay, so he's whispering this to you as you sort of creep across the lawn. Can I get a stealth check from
Yes,
Gerion,
yeah.
please? And I will
Here
roll
we
one
go.
for Jeff.
Okay.
While I ignore Emma on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
She's killing
Ooh, let's see. Okay, that's not as bad as it looks. First one is courage, which I need to buy down. And then next is intuition, which is good. And then agility, which is good. So I'm going to spend all of my points to buy down courage, making it a QL of 1.
Okay. All right. Cool. So almost imperceptibly to you, little Jeff just fucking vanishes in the shadows. He steps into the shadow and then he's gone. And you're like, where did this child go?
Yeah.
Until you see him like inside the window going, psst, come on, quick.
You are good.
Your son is so skilled.
Right. And so for the sort of imaginary record, Gerion is in his street clothes. He's got his sword at home. He looks like he'd just be a part of the crowd.
Are you not wearing all your jewelry as well, then?
He's got his gear on. He's got his his special pieces on. But other than that, he's just armed with his knife.
Okay, so you sneak into the window, and because it's a QL1, it is, it's still a pass, but it's maybe not the stealthiest Gerion's ever been.
Sure.
I reckon like his a ring like taps on the glass, or a chain or something makes like a little tapping noise on the glass, which is just enough if anyone's listening to give you away. But luckily, you can see Jeff is in the midst of this room, and it looks like a really cozy sort of salon in here. There's like really like plump overstuffed chaise longues. There's like a lovely like decanter in the corner on like a nice like dark oak sideboard. There's like bookshelves and stuff in here. This is like a really nice, if you wish to chill out somewhere, this is premium. There's a beautiful fireplace.
It's great.
And Jeff is like, yes, all right. There's no paperweights in here though. A bit shite. Because for some reason this kid's obsessed with paperweights.
We've all got a thing, kid. We've all got a thing.
He creeps forward and opens the big dark oak door, and and he peers through the gap as he looks into the corridor. Oh my god! Of the hallway. I'm so sorry, viewers at home. This is the silliest we've ever been.
Wait, are we talking about pies again?
I don't know anymore. It's all wrapped up, all the innuendo.
Hold on, let me. All right, we're
Let's
good.
do it.
Okay, so Jeff cracks open the door, peers through the gap into the hallway, and he whispers back to you, "It's all clear. Don't see anybody."
All right, let's go.
So, the study's upstairs.
All
I
right.
think. Wait, was it upstairs? Hang on.
And he scurries up to a staircase and looks up and goes,
Nah, I'm talking absolute fucking bollocks. It went upstairs.
and then he scurries back down.
Where was he?
And he and the corridor here is actually quite like a long one that has like a left, like really sharp turn. There's tons of doors here. And he's like, all right, so if we came in the back, if I go, and he's thinking, like trying to redraw his steps, I think it's this way.
All right.
Um,
How sure are you?
Not good with my numbers, but mostly.
Mostly. Okay. Did it have any windows in it?
No, it didn't. So I think it's
Probably
like
in the middle of the house.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
and so he sort of scurries around a corner, and then he comes back like, yeah, this looks familiar. Let me think. Yeah. And he walks across a couple of doors, like creaks them open a little bit. Not this one. And he opens one door, and he says a little bit louder than he intends to, "Got it!" And there's that moment of silence.
No one's coming.
Ringing
And
silence.
no one comes.
Okay.
But he has a look on his face like, fuck, as he scampers inside and gestures for you to follow.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So this opens up into, the door opens up and he closes it softly behind the two of you. This looks like a normal sort of study. This looks very similar, although you wouldn't know you went in there. It looks very similar to her office in the town hall. This is, there's like a big oak desk. There's bookshelves. There, whatever is in a fantasy office is in this office. And he goes up to a bookcase on the right-hand wall, and he goes, it was one of these books. And he's looking across, and you can see these are sort of leather-bound tomes. There are, fancy versions of novels that are popular in the world that she has here. There's some really boring looking, like, official law kind of books on here. But his hands sort of come across one that is bound in a green leather. And it has no title.
Green leather. Okay.
I think it was along here somewhere. I can't remember which one it is. And he's like pulling books at random to try and get them to trigger.
Uh-huh. So Grind's going to go as well. He's looking for... Grind's not well read, even though he did come to Havina to get a copy of his favorite book. He is looking for sort of... What he's looking for is a book that seems worn. Mm-hmm. Right? That might have a tear at the top or something that gets pulled out a lot or used on a shelf that maybe there's not as much dust on it. Like that's the kind of thing he's looking for.
All right. Do me another perception check as you are scouring these shelves. And the quality level will determine how quickly you find it.
Sure. So my first two are going to be real good. Actually, let's see. I'm going to get it with QL1, but can I bump that up with a fate point? Looking at my cheat sheet. Yeah. So I will spend a fate point to raise that QL. So it's QL2.
Okay. So you're next to Jeff, who is just pulling books at fucking random at this point because he can't remember which one it was that he pulled the last time. And you look for things, like you said, you look for disturbances in dust, books that look worn. And then something clicks in your mind too, like, oh, the colors of the Church of Ascende, right? These were they were green and gold and other things like that you'd seen. And you managed to hit on the trifecta of all the things: disturbed dust, a slightly worn cover, and the colors. This is a green leather bound tome with some like fancy gold scroll work on it. And you can tell like at the top, there's almost like little pinch marks either side where it's clearly been pulled a couple of times.
I want to give a little click of his tongue to Jeff to draw his attention. And, he's going to try to tip the book out, and I think, he's just going to try to tip it out.
Okay.
Has there been a sign of activity in this house, or does Gerion see it as empty?
It has been very
empty.
quiet and empty so far. As you're in the study, you can hear upstairs just like a little soft walking from someone you might expect to be a maybe household staff, but you haven't found anyone on your level yet. You haven't heard or seen anyone.
Yeah.
So Jeff stops midway pulling a book as you click your tongue at him, and then you pull at the book. And unlike how you would normally expect a book to feel, when you're pulling it off a bookshelf, this feels very fixed in place, like it's on a sort of mechanism, and it pulls out and makes like a clunk as it does. It's not a very loud one, but like a clunk that you almost feel more than anything else.
Yeah.
And the bookcase next to you, to your left, starts to recess into the wall and slide behind the bookcase that you're stood in front of.
That's pretty impressive. All right. This look familiar, Jeff?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I shit myself the first time it happened. I mean, how many times you pick up a book and the whole bookcase fucking moves?
This is maybe the first for me too. So
Yeah.
it'll be all right. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to make sure those other books are pushed back in. Leave any. You know what to do. You're a professional.
Yeah. You know, it's like we've never been here.
Right.
And he's like got books going. Fuck, you're trying to.
The letters read like this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right. He might not be able to read.
I'm assuming. I don't think. I'm not sure that Gerion knows how to.
Did you come to your favorite book?
He did. It's called How to Fight, Ride, and Drink Beer.
Oh, it might be illustrated.
It's published in Havina. So he is going to see if the door like swings open. And the other thing he's looking for is like a tripwire. Something. Is there maybe an alarm or something like that we might set off? I would put one if I had a secret room.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Just seeing if there's anything else that's a bit more applicable than perception, but I don't think so.
Okay.
So let's have another perception.
Luck's gonna run out some point. Not today though.
Oh.
That is going to be. Let's see. Actually, that's 6. So that's going to be what? QL2?
Things right on the border, yeah.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the upper end of the category. So yeah, QL2.
All right. So you thinking, if I had a secret room, I would trap the shit out of this just so people, I would know if someone was in here. And you can see that just almost imperceptibly, just like an inch or so off the ground is something, it looks as fine as a hair, but it's a string pulled across. And to your mind, it doesn't look like it's like a magical trap or anything, but more of like, if this is broken, someone has been in here.
Right. Kind of like how you put a piece of tape on the back of your door if you don't want your little brother to come in, and you're like, he's going to come in and I want to know because he's going to take one of my things. I got you. It's exactly like that.
Yeah.
He'll point it out to Jeff. and then he'll go in the secret room.
Mm-hmm. You see, I don't think I broke that last time, even though I didn't know that was there. Because they're like, well, there's a little superstition that you don't just walk into door frames, right? That you jump through a door. I thought that was something that the older kids were just saying to make me look like a fucking idiot. But turns out, really helpful.
Yeah. They should have told you that's why they're doing it, but
yeah, well, they're dickheads.
That sounds like it.
Or it's a good learning opportunity, right?
Teachable moment.
Mm-hmm. So Jeff jumps through, does a little hop through the doorway, and he goes, yeah, so this is what I want to show you, Mr. Gerion, because look at it. And you step forward into this sort of room, and it's not much bigger than a cupboard, really.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see that this place is like jam-packed full of snake shit. It's everywhere. Like there are the edges of the wood of there's a bench in here. It's carved with like a snake motif. There's a smaller bookcase in here, snakes on it, unsurprisingly.
Live snakes or carvings?
No, carvings.
Okay.
As far as you can tell, there are no live snakes in this room at present.
Oh, maybe there's a snake skin that you think for one sec is a live snake, but it's just a shed skin.
Like
yeah,
there's 100% a taxidermy snake in here. There is a copy of Fariha's tattoo, but a painted artwork like on the wall.
Okay.
In here, and you can see in the middle there is there's like a small little plinth, a little dais almost of what looks to be a clear glass orb that seems to be nestled in like a decorative bed of snakes that seems to be made of like a dark metal.
Oh, that I'm going to assume that's magical. We're looking for the book, which I believe 2 said was red. Let me make sure. I have notes. They represent Gerion's memory. I do believe, right? That's what he's going to go on.
Yeah, it's this a big leather-bound dealie. It's not like a little book. This is like a big boy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But I think like, yeah, honestly, once we're in the secret room of the snake cult, then I think any book might be of relevance, but he is specifically looking for one that has names in it. He's also not touching anything in here, and is going to be using his knife to like try to open things and poke at stuff.
They're me snake whenever people, I go into like a glassware store, I'm like,
yeah, right. Don't touch
everything is poison.
It might be.
So you sort of like leaf through some books, and some of it seems to be just general like Hasinde stuff. But other stuff, it seems to be it's written in a tongue that you're not familiar with, in a writing you're not familiar with at all. But the way that like the book is presented, it's like this one book in particular that has got like buckles and belts around it. Like this is a severely contained book. And it looks old. The pages have got that sort of yellow-orange tinge to them. Like this is a real old, and it smells like a musty old book too. Mm-hmm. But it was kept on on top of the bookcase. So it's sort of like a small little half bookcase. It's kept in like a satiny pillowed case. Mm-hmm. Like it's clearly valuable, this book.
Yeah. All right. He's gonna take that. And he has like a bag that he'll put it in. Is there anything in here that looks like here's my logic. Gerion and Tariq have spent a lot of time traveling together. Mm-hmm. Gerion doesn't know much about magic, but he knows what like the paraphernalia of magic might look like. Amulets and wands and things like that. If there's anything that looks like that, Gerion will probably take it.
There doesn't appear to be any sort of like amulets or wands in here. That orb in the thing is clearly something magical. Like it just looks like evil wizard shit.
Oh sure.
You can see also hung up on a cloak on a peg is her cult cloak, which is not necessarily magical in itself, but again associated with. But there isn't anything else that you can see in this room. There is a sort of jewelry box that is currently open, but there's nothing inside it.
Okay, nothing inside it. The orb goes in. I feel like if I took the cloak and we used it as disguise, it would give us away. Because she's probably got it monogrammed or something. And and that he doesn't want to stay in. Gerion doesn't want to stay in here any longer than he has to. So book, orb, let's head out.
Okay, you're taking the orb?
Yeah, I'm going to take the orb. Both of them go in the bag.
Okay. So you place your hand on the orb, or are you like wrapping it first? Are you touching it?
Oh, no, he's not touching anything. Bag over it, wrap it.
Okay. Good. Okay, so you throw the bag over the orb, take that from its little plinth, and you dip out of the secret snake cultist room. So as you're exiting the mansion, I would like another stealth check from you, please, as you are making your way out. Unless there's anywhere else in the mansion you'd like to look.
No, nowhere else.
Okay.
Okay, so that's courage, int, agility. Yeah, that is going to be QL2.
All right. Okay. So just like the shadows that you are, you and Jeff managed to make your way out of the mansion. There is a moment where you're in a really shadowy, dark corridor when a servant walks past you. And it's a Tomb Raider 2 butler, old man with a silver tray that's shaking as he's walking down the corridor, and it masks your breathing as he passes inches from your face, and you can hear Jeff go as he passes, but he doesn't seem to notice you as he continues to shake his way down the corridor. And just outside Goosewyn, as you are reaching the end of your very extended count, waiting for Gerion and Jeff, you see them bolting across the lawn to the secluded position that you had left them in.
Ooh. I'm gonna mosey on over there.
Good to see you're still here.
Did you find what you were looking for?
I got my stuff back.
1,748 Mississippi alligators, but it's been a good long count.
Yeah. I'm glad. You know, I'm glad that you stayed. I'd been upset if you left us. I got what I came for. I got my stuff back, you know, and I think it's time for us to go back to the house.
Well, let's go.
Introduce you
To who?
we have a townhouse here. My merchant friend purchased some property in the city recently, and we've been, you know, staying there, getting that set up. You know, I like I said earlier, I think that you should meet him. I think you have a lot in common with Ortlieb. You know, cooking, you know, a love of food and hospitality.
Is he right with his maker?
Yes.
Wonderful.
We don't talk religion, honestly.
Oh, but you should. Maybe I go converse him up and gab about God and whatnot, and I take you by the hand. It's like, lead me to it.
Let's go. And he'll leave.
Come on, Jeff.
Right. Come on, son. And
He's like, all right,
yeah.
Dad.
Yeah, and I'll take Jeff by the other hand, and they can just lead me on over there.
Oh, like
Right.
a nice family going home after
He
a day
leans
at the
behind
tournament.
Goosewyn.
This is like
to
saving
talk
Mr.
to
Banks.
Gerion, and he says, "This is gonna cost extra."
Yeah. And
And
The
he
Lord
pretending to
said
be
to
a
Noah,
child's
there's
costume.
going to be a floody. No, sorry.
you're gonna go like a circuitous route, not just directly to there. You're gonna, you know, swing by that.
Yeah.
At some point, he might just be like, you know, wait, what happened? Do we need to pay that stable fee, son? Maybe, you know, like see if we can give him an out. Kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't you think about that, Dad? I didn't pay the stable master to look after
Spare the rod, spoil the child.
our donkey, so I'll meet you at the house later on for dinner. Why?
You're a
Wash
very
up.
responsible young man.
He is.
Well, you know, he's had me working since I was 5. Bye, and then he runs off.
He takes
I'll
after
slip
his
him
mother.
a few of my some of my pocket change for his trouble, and
so
make sure I
funny.
have
love
all
this
of
boy.
mine left on me after spending time with Jeff.
I love this kid. Okay, we're gonna adopt him.
We have to adopt him. We have to rescue him from a life on the street.
A life of organized
Oh, he
crime.
could just study in the Black Mages Guild, you know. Then he might not remember any of that life on the street.
It's a
very
win-win.
soon.
It's a win-win situation.
Okay, so after taking a roundabout route through the city, you eventually reach the villa, which I have been reliably informed is Cottagecore Fabulous, as Ortlieb and Tariq are, I would imagine, probably preparing, right, for the great festival. You're making sure that everything is top notch, maybe working on a new sausage recipe or something. I'm not sure what you get up to in your free time, but that
I
sounds
would-
like
Oh, okay. What if, because we're from different countries, right? So, and you're a trader, so you know. So, what if we are discussing and trying to cook like food that my mom used to make when I was a kid?
Okay, yeah.
Like specific like farm food, because we lived in farms, we ate well, you know. And I've only relinquished memories of some of the childhood favorites that I had. But you know, most of them I remember.
Most of
They
them
weren't
were made.
snatched out of the fortress of my intellect. So we're talking about I'm like, oh yeah, and she used to do this to the sausage, and if you add some if you add some meat, if you add some of the fat from the kidney region, you can get like the suet, you get like
Oh,
a
yeah.
really interesting texture and stuff like that. So
Awesome. Yes. No, we are neck deep in sausages.
not neck deep in pie, neck deep in sausage. Very important distinction.
I can't take.
P word, no.
Take it.
So, as you are in the midst of this intense conversation about sausage, about filling, about other delicious foodstuffs, the door opens and you can see Gerion hand in hand with a strange woman that you have never met before.
Wearing like a goose dress, right?
Is it a goose like a Bjork dress?
No. So
No.
What I'm wearing is a yellow and orange robe with a goose-shaped clasp made from silver. I'm not wearing a Bjork swan dress.
I was imagining like a goose pattern on your dress. That's what I was.
There
imagining.
is
summer
like
dress, yeah.
there is a goose pattern. There is one embroidered on there, and sort of the colors form that.
Okay, so I have some religious knowledge. Would I recognize this a regalia?
If you got religious knowledge, and definitely, and I would say this is a well-known deity. It's not like it's super niche. So
Right.
you would
It's,
recognize.
it's the goose goddess, yeah. So I'm like, oh no, that's the goose goddess. That's a chosen, right? They're called.
We're blessed ones.
Blessed. Yeah, that's a blessed of the goose goddess. Maybe he got caught or got entangled in something on the way back or from the temple area. Let's just play it cool and pretend that we're just here for the festival.
Yeah, I think Gerion's going to enter in talking a little louder than maybe he normally would. So Goosewyn, this is our villa that we recently acquired.
I'm right
That's
next to you,
Ortlieb.
sweetheart, and I like touch on the bicep.
Sweetheart.
Fair enough. Let me introduce you to my companions.
Companions.
He'll come in. Yeah.
Do you
They're my
introduce
traveling
us
companions.
as we are, or do you make up a backstory or something?
No, I think Gerion mentioned Tariq in like that he was traveling with him. We're just like, oh, he's off somewhere else while Tu and Gerion does this thing.
Yeah, and I imagine when I'm in the kitchen, I'm still in full black mage robe, except that I wear an apron on top.
I did not tell her you were a black mage. Just make sure.
Yeah, so I'm totally dressed as a black mage.
Right.
I would totally recognize one.
Yeah.
It's Tariq, a compatriot of mine from back east, and Ortlieb, the gentleman merchant that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I would bow and introduce myself with my full guild title, that really long one that was in that letter in the first episode. So I bow and introduce myself.
Oh, that's
I would just
fancy.
I'm going to say, hello, I'm Ortlieb, and then give you a plate of samples to try.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, these all look so delicious. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I just enjoy them. Let me know which ones are your favorite. I'm getting ready for the tournament.
She almost tears up at this offering. It's just
Ortlieb almost tears up at her gratitude.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things, and you can tell she gets right in, and
I point to it. I'm like, that's my mom's old recipe.
Oh, really? I'm not gonna say it's an acquired taste. Describe to me the flavors. This is
that
pinwheel salmon.
It's a firmer texture because it has the kidney fat in it, right?
Oh,
and
firm.
so that one has more of a bite to it. And to complement the textured bite, my mother used to spice it heavily to give it also a flavor bite. So it's very. I looked up the scientific word for hot spicy is pungent. It means something else in normal cooking and scientific cooking, so it's very pungent.
I kind of lean into Tariq, and it's kind of one of those things where Goosewyn just kind of flips her head back, and you can tell this is not a typical man for hearing. Tell me a little bit about your mother. She was a classy gal, wasn't she?
And I'm taken aback a little bit because who's asking me about my mother?
Yeah.
And again, I don't have lots of memories of my mother, right?
What do you remember?
She made sausages, and then I look at Gerion who is this goose lady asking me questions about my mother? People are normally too intimidated to ask me anything, so I'm a little thrown back.
Yeah, I think
not
he would have
intimidated.
at some
You're my
point
new
would have
friend.
introduced Goosewyn. Yeah, this is Goosewyn. An innkeep that I met.
Oh, not
a while
who
back.
is this, but why?
Former innkeep. It burned down. And then I just go. Well, I just have to say your mother must be an absolute peach of a woman because this is the finest sampling that I think I've ever tried. I mean, they're all delicious, and I kind of look at Ortlieb with my watery eyes, and you're just so sweet, and it's like one of those things. And she kind of This will probably be my last day of high school with y'all. It's one of those
I
things.
like this woman.
Thanks.
I just look
She's
at
a pain to
Gerion
play.
like, she's not like the ones you normally bring home.
No.
No.
You normally bring women home?
What
I
is
like
normally?
because it's a holy woman.
So-
And not only that, just so you know, she's not all about that.
right. Yes, I recall.
Except when she's all
from
about
our
it.
conversation. Yeah. Normally I like to stay at their place, and I'm gonna go to the other room. I think y'all easily get to know each other, and he's gonna try to get Tariq to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go help Gerion in the other room. Ortlieb, why don't you talk about spices?
Goosewyn,
She makes a great gooseberry pie.
she would turn to Ortlieb as Gerion leaves and be like, he's a bit of a work in progress.
Which one are you talking about? I'm so confused.
The stoic one, the bright one with the mage robes. That he knows who he is.
He does. Yes.
Except
No,
all my childhood memories. Anyway,
You burned off the fat and you kept the muscle.
cooked it. Okay, so so I'm gonna with Gerion. I've washed my hands, obviously, because they're not. I wouldn't meet someone covered in sausage meat, so it's all clean. So yeah.
All right. So, Gerion, you managed to get Tariq alone in the other room. That sounds way more sordid than it has any right to.
You've been alone in rooms before. It's all right.
But nonetheless, you two are alone.
So, as soon as I thought what I was going to say, I was like, can't say that. That's the innuendos have flown around. He's going to open up his bag, which is another word for what I was thinking of, and show or like. We found
the book is in the fancy book.
The book and the orb are in there, and
okay.
This from Magistrate Nadia's secret room in her office.
And my eyes go wide because the first thing I know is probably that's magical. I don't even need to make a magical lore thing, right? To know that there's something special about these, right?
Yeah, no, you don't. I would say it's easy enough for you, being someone who is versed in magical arts, to know that this stuff is clearly magical. The book seems to be, from what you would gather, either like a spell book or a book that contains rituals or anything like that, or incantations or something. There is clearly some magical knowledge contained in this book.
Okay.
This orb is a mystery to you at present. It
Can
looks
I like
a crystal, deal.
Yeah. Can I do a check? And I have my spell book which does stuff. If I look in my Encyclopedia Magica, it says a successful check on magical lore increases the SP by 1. SP, is that my points or is that the quality level? No. If the hero's access to 137 usable, I have 1 volume. Okay, it'll increase. My magic book makes my success better, right?
Right.
If I get a success. So I'm going to make a magical lore check to see if I can figure something out about these books. I'm cross-referencing my book. My magical lore has 7 points. Nice. 15, 15, 12. So I'm going to make a roll. Oh, God. 20, 10, 10. So the second and third are fine, but I do have enough points to bring the 20 down to 15.
Okay.
And then I have 2 points left over. So that's a quality level 1.
Quality level 1.
But I get a bonus for having my book. So.
Okay. So you start to look this book over. Do you want to open it up, undo some of the binding around it, or are you literally just looking at it from the outside?
Would I be smart enough to think of trapped magical things, do you think?
I think so. I think you would.
Yeah. In that case, I will be more cautious. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you look it over, and part of your check is you recognize this book doesn't appear to be magically trapped or physically trapped any other way.
Okay.
and you like slowly start to undo the binding to
Yeah.
to look at it more, and the belts that are kind of keeping it closed open up, and the pages open. You can see the text is clearly written because this is a spooky cult book in blood. Because
Spooky
it's a
cult
spooky
book.
cult book.
Yes.
You know, it's got that dark sort of reddish tone to it.
Yeah.
And the pages are all worn and aged, and you know that it's like a good musty old book smell.
Yeah, maybe it's written. I think the Zayed signs are like a magical language. I think I took that, so maybe it's written in that.
Yeah, for sure. It's not written in any sort of spoken tongue that's like a conversational language. This is clearly something magical knowledge.
Yeah.
And you can see that this is a spell book of sorts
Ooh.
that gives guidance and you know, tells you how to do certain things. You can see in here is the spell that was the man who turned to snakes, the illusion of a body that was comprised of snakes. But as you sort of look the page over, it feels like because I find it really cool if magical is all senses, right? Not just
yeah.
Feels like there is no magical energy to this spell, as if this knowledge has already been taken from this book, and therefore what is written on the page can no longer be
like
activated.
impotent.
Yeah,
Interesting.
It's deactivated.
So I that's a different kind of magic from my tradition, right? So I have heard about it. So I point this out to Graham, like, you know, our school of magic, we learn magic that we can just do. This is from a different school of magic that like put spells and energy into the book themselves. And I point to that, and I point to some diagram, and like, see, this is the like snake spell that we saw in the cave. The person turned. So this is clearly related to the cult. Like, this is undeniably related because that snake spell was done. We saw that, right?
Do you think that was her?
I think I think the snakes were charmed to be a messenger using this spell. But it's been used. So I suggest I think maybe she did that spell.
Okay, so
that's a good. We just learned something huge.
Yeah, right. So the likelihood. First off, that's how she probably knew you, and that means
yes.
Did she already know too? When he was there underneath the temple,
maybe she was there, and then I'm like, does she? I don't know if. Do I know, Susie, if she could see through those snakes or anything based on the spell?
You not through this spell, but as you flick through, you can see there are also most of this book is dormant spells that have already been learned and consumed by someone, which makes sense to what you understand of this sect of the cult of Hasinde too. They're all about hoarding that knowledge and not sharing it.
Right.
So you can see that one of these spells also gives her the ability to see through the eyes of an
So I turn to him and say, so she might already know. Like, we thought when we met her that pause. Susie, did we actually meet her, or did just Ortlieb meet?
It was Ortlieb and 2 that met her.
Yeah, so I'm like,
met her in the cult, and then he met her again in her office.
There is a possibility that she already knows who we are and is stringing us along about this whole tournament thing. Like, she might have seen us already through the snakes. I cannot be sure.
Yeah, we can't be sure.
Yeah. And what about the orb? Do I learn anything about the orb?
The orb itself is a very difficult one for you to pass. But as you are looking at it, do you touch it?
I'm going to, yeah.
Okay.
Because my negative trait is curious, right? Yeah. So yes, I'm gonna whoops.
So I would imagine Gerion opens up the bag and you see this orb and you reach in and you grab it. As you do, it feels ice cold to the touch, and as you pull it out, the orb begins to swirl with like smoke inside.
Build me an army worthy of Mordor, literally.
It's like a Palantir for sure. Like it swirls with smoke and color before you see, much like a Palantir, a big slitted pupil But this looks more reptilian.
Oh,
And you see a snake eye look, and it looks around.
Oh my
before it sort of
god!
zooms out a little, and you can see scales around before
Oh my
it sort
God.
of narrows as if it's clocking who you are, and the
Okay.
smoke returns once more.
So Sharon is like, we need to cover this immediately, but Tariq has the curious flaw, right? So he is absolutely not going to do that. He's going to examine it. Like, what was that? What was the eye? Like,
demon?
what?
Is that a demon? What is this?
And I think we're smart enough for me to be like, what if it's connected to the dragon, the snake monster that they're trying to summon?
Right. Yeah. What did they tell
I
us
like
what it
tap
was?
the orb, like like annoying people tap the glass in a zoo. Like I do the same thing. I'm so curious.
So you're scouring it over.
Yeah.
You're tapping it. You're trying to activate it again, but it is dormant.
Okay, so I am like, I don't know how to activate this. I have a feeling this is really valuable. Where did you say you found it in the house?
So there was her office, right? And he's going to tell him everything.
Right. So I'm like, yeah,
Right,
this is
because-
probably really valuable. And
Actually, Grant's going to think about it. And he'd just be like, come on in. And it's going to,
yes.
You know,
Okay.
like-
I invade the fortress of your intellect.
because if anything is listening to us, like then if there's,
Yes!
that's what Grant's going to do.
Okay, cool.
Like, give me a
And I'm
minute.
like,
He's going to remember it.
And I'm like, oh, okay, so this is probably really valuable. And let's tell our what's her name? Oh, that princess, what's her name?
Oh, yeah. Fariha?
Yeah, because I have a feeling they might be sending people out to fetch this or find this. And this just might have seen us.
Yeah. I also saw a picture, something that looked like her tattoo that was on her back. I mean, there was more in there. There's some what looked like.
Give me a peek.
Yeah, he's gonna go. Come on. He's gonna go back around his sort of mental
I'm
image
like,
of his memory of it.
You have a son? Oh no. Okay.
No, forget that. Yeah.
So
Okay.
while this is happening, we cut to the kitchen with Goosewyn and Ortlieb.
Okay. I think Ortlieb is probably just telling Goosewyn in depth about all of the sausages at this point.
Oh,
Yeah.
You become a specialized in sausages merchant now.
Yes, he has. We're just it's retroactively. I think we're just gonna say he's been the sausage man this whole time.
He's specialized in cured meats.
Yes, in charcuterie. He'll even when we zoom in, he'll probably be like, if you're lucky, I'll take you to my drying basement later if you want. And
she flushes over. Monsieur Gaston. No, it's she's just like, oh, sounds like a swell time.
it is. I've found in the back of this property there are some very small caves that I think might be ideal for beneficial mold growth. And if I can get them opened up enough, I might even have a chance to have Ortlieb cheeses.
Ortlieb cheeses.
Ortlieb cheeses?
Goodness gracious, what are you going to milk for those?
I don't know yet. I'm not sure. I'm not at that point in the process. But well, I mean, this is my long term, this is my 10 to 20 year plan.
Do you really
have your projections?
do you plan to stay here like that long?
Well, I mean, I go lots of different places all the time. This is not my only house. Come on. I mean, like
You own many houses?
what?
You own many houses?
Well, yeah.
I live in the
Yeah,
streets.
What?
Yes,
In
and
the
then
streets?
and then
I thought
it's
you
just
were an innkeeper.
no, it burned down, and I kind of motion to where Gerion went. It's like we were left with a mess. God,
What do
good camera direction. We were left with a mess.
I don't understand.
It's- There were some. Let's just say that geese never like to look in the rearview mirror, and I have been sentenced by my faith to wander these lands and preach the good word of Travia. Have you heard the good word of Travia?
The good word of the goose.
Sure.
Good word of the goose. That's a constellation. You have.
I'm familiar with the goose.
Good with the
Like
goose.
geese. They're
Geese?
delicious.
Do you like food? You like delicious food. Well, why don't you let me cook for you?
That would be good. However, I am getting ready for this tournament, which is it starting today or is it starting tomorrow?
Do you need any help?
Yes, I do. Very much so.
All right. She rolls up her sleeves. Beautiful arms. Strong arms, but beautiful. And I'm going to use a liturgical chant. I'm going to use my Helping Hand. So Helping Hand is an ability that I have, which is going to make as long as we are doing the good works of Travia, making food, stuff like that, friendship. Oh, come on, just go to Helping Hand. All right, so all cumulative group checks receive an overall bonus of a quality level of 2 for the next 24 hours, something like that. Or it's a long period, but there has to be at least 2 people involved.
Takes 2.
It takes 2.
Sausage.
Takes 2 to make a sausage. Those are hands. Make sausage
You can do it with just one person, but it's not very good. You really need a second person to support the sausage.
I mean, don't have to crank the sausage making machine. The other one stuffs the intestine. Yeah,
It's true. I've been on both sides. I've done both roles.
You've been on both sides of the sausage.
I'm a switch hitter in sausage making.
Now, I don't know if...
Today?
I don't know. I went ahead and rolled and deducted my points, and I don't know if it's possible to crit on these things, but I would have. And so it's I'm getting all about making that sausage and helping Ortlieb and making sure that our quality levels are...
Oh my goodness! Do I need to roll?
Hit me up that roll.
Well, this is my
magic.
magic.
Food preparation skill, right?
Food prep, is that a skill?
Yeah,
a separate skill.
Yep.
Prepare food. Oh yeah, of course. I've got 10 ranks.
Same. I have 10 ranks as well.
Oh my god!
I went all in on seduction and food prep. They're the same thing.
Crit failed on the second one, but because I've got the 2 dealio, it only takes half of my points to do it, which means that I passed with 6 ranks to spare.
Oh,
So
okay.
Yeah.
So, as you and Goosewyn get to work in the kitchen, the earth moves. No, literally, it does. There is a quake as the house begins to shake.
Oh god!
No.
Oh god! I love
Do
this.
Yeah.
I fall into his arms. No,
Ortlieb.
no, he turned with the sausage. I crack on
I
the
thought
floor.
at the beginning you were like, "Oh, the sausage making is so lovely. The earth moves."
Oh, my poor house.
I grab Gerion and in the other room, and I'm like, and I look at the orb.
They said it slept beneath the earth, and they were trying to keep it. They wanted to wake it up. It sleeps beneath the earth. It's going to devour the world. That's what the priest of Ascende said.
I'm accusing Ortlieb of tempting me with the devil's sausage. This is a bad sign. How dare you slap him with it across the face.
Slapping me with a raw sausage. Sorry, Susie. We've played so many games together, don't you know?
Oh, this sounds like my day today. Anyway,
No, this is the way it was gonna go.
Raw sausage.
I'm just surprised that it's
The time of day.
Many
Raw
episodes to get here.
everyone, play "Pass the Sugar, Please" by Cleo Yonsu Davis.
You should.
Anyway,
You know, it's kind of like a... Why do you want the raw sausage? Well,
Is it so? How hard did it shake? Is it like getting
It's like a
knocking things off the walls?
Yeah, it's kind of earthquake territory where it's not causing structural collapse, but things are falling off tables. I imagine Ortlieb has one of those really nice like racks above the kitchen island.
He
that you
does.
has.
Yeah.
A couple of things have fallen off that. Some of your herbs that you had hanging have fallen.
Herbs.
Just general sort of ruckus.
Okay, I'm gonna go to like the central sort of like load bearing wall in the house, which I imagine is right in between the kitchen and the room where Tariq and Gerion are.
I'm gonna tuck the I'm gonna keep the orb if that's okay with the grind because I'm the magical person. So actually, I don't even ask. I just assume that I'm the one to keep it because I'm a black mage, and I'm like put it away, and I grab Gerion, and I'm like,
I don't. We're not safe here.
yeah. Would I know anything about this earthquake, Susie? Like, could I divine something?
I don't think that you would know anything like outright. You could suspect. I mean, the timing is very suspicious considering you just saw the eye and then everything moved.
Yeah.
You may be able to draw a correlation between the two, but you don't know for definite.
Right. So I'm like, I have a feeling these are correlated. Not causality and correlation are not always correlated, but yeah.
I was just like, sure.
I don't know. I don't know what that means. Do we need to leave? I don't really know.
They keep it quiet through tribute, so.
Where do we take this tribute? And they tributed like people. We're not going to feed people to them.
No. Is the earth still shaking, or is it just this one thing?
It was one. You can still feel like a little aftershock of it, but it's not as bad as it was.
And do we think it was localized to the villa and the sex shed, or do we think it was the whole city?
You are not sure at present.
Also, we must remember it is a villa and a sex shed, okay? Not just the villa.
Not just the villa. That's true.
What?
I didn't tell you.
Come out back to the caves, Goosewyn. Oh, don't mind if I do. What lovely ropes. I did take Max Ranks and ropes as well.
No. I don't know. So I'm kind of Tariq is kind of at a loss, and Sharung is kind of at a loss. Like, what do we do if the monsters are going to erupt beneath our feet?
Yeah, I think for number one, getting out of the house. And I think going outside would be best because otherwise there's nothing to fall on you if there's another one.
Yeah.
And then he just want like the minute maybe it's over, the instant it's over. Is the rest of the neighborhood affected? Is someone on their way? Like getting out of the house and seeing what's going on is
So I grab so Gerion grabs me probably because I'm a bit like
this way,
and Gerion's the man of action, right? He grabs me and pulls me out.
Yeah.
I'll carry Goosewyn out.
Carry?
Yes.
Oh no.
Just instinctually, it's like this person needs help.
Yes. How do you carry me? Like sack of potatoes?
How do you carry her?
Oh no!
Or
it's like a baby
across the arm.
Like,
Okay, like a baby. Okay. Yes, I nuzzle in, wrap my neck around yours.
yes.
Now I'm the Bjork dress.
Giant gooseneck.
Giant goose.
Now I'm gonna imagine you in the Bjork dress again because that image is just very funny.
Grant just now wears the Bjork goose dress.
In my head, it is Bjork, like literally.
Okay, so you all clear out of the house and begin to look around. And as you do so, you can see that the rest of the neighborhood around you seems to be carrying on as if nothing has ever happened. The merchants are just pushing carts down the street. People are just walking. None of the buildings look like they've had anything fall off. Like all the roof tiles are fine. There's no potted plants, which have made ominous crashes to the ground. However, Ortlieb, you notice that those caves you mentioned out back, they're now open to the air as the ground above appears to have collapsed, and you can see now down into this cave.
So you won't be able to make your brie in there. That's an important thing.
My beautiful caves.
I turn to Gerion and I'm like, what do we do next? They have clearly found us.
What?
We haven't had time to catch you up. So, quick out of game question: is Fariha still around?
She's at the
Frida
palace,
is with
right?
her
She was with the palace. Oh,
parents.
that's
Yeah.
right. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay. I for some reason thought she was.
And because he's not here, 2 is also at the tournament grounds.
Right.
He has been sort of sequestered with the other fighters, just to make sure there's no pre-game bullshit happening and that everybody isn't getting tanked up or anything.
And they're probably getting like oiled and strigilled and all
Yeah,
that
getting
stuff, right?
a good massage going on, real nice deep sports
Well,
massage.
the body
to
will
make
be
sure you-
spent.
What do we do? All right. Well, if they're
We
coming
have a
after
very
us, then-
saucy game. Okay, keep going.
if they're coming after us, then the best thing to do is to go after them. They won't expect it. They'll expect us to run away and hide. So we should find them and get them before they get us.
So we have 2 routes, right? We don't know the secret door, but he told us there was a secret door.
Yeah.
He also told us about the haunted sewers.
Yes, the haunted sewers.
It's funny you should mention the haunted sewers, because as Ortlieb is checking out his caves that have collapsed, he can hear a faint ghostly moaning coming from the hole, which is now at his feet.
Oh.
Ortlieb runs away and yells, "Ghost!"
And I'm like, what? And I try and listen. If I hear the moaning, I'm like, oh, that's the bad kind of moaning.
Yeah.
Do we go there? I am completely like Tariq is very smart, but he is not. Oh, he's also very young. He's not like decisive. He's gonna look at his 2 older companions who are much more experienced and be like,
Ortlieb's just gonna be like, "What did you do?"
Yeah, what did you do? I say from his arms.
we may have attracted the attention of the snake monster that they're trying to summon into the world.
Yeah, there was a giant squamous eye or something, scales. And
Where? How did you do that?
Oh, with that orb that I have in my pocket that Gerion stole from them?
Yeah, the one that we took from Magistrate Nadia's house.
That was not what we discussed was going to be stolen.
I was thinking on my feet.
Gerion is normally very good about thinking on his feet. I've seen those thoughts sometimes.
Yeah. We found a book as well. It's some.
Oh yeah, that magistrate is definitely the one who sent that multi-snake person to the ogre cave.
Yeah.
Shit.
While this is going on, Gerard's putting on his armor. And
Yeah.
gearing up, yeah.
Goosewyn's
need a
turning
fresh
pale
apron.
and getting very weak.
I will put her down.
Place her down.
I turn to our priestess and I'm like,
She's fetal.
you're a priestess. Do you know about ghosts and underground cults, and can you like drive them away with geese?
No.
Oh,
I
Geese are
can bless
frightening.
your house. I can make you feel a little less hungry. And I can make sure that you all remain good friends. The undead, the ghosts, the spirit world. That's dangerous stuff to be messing with. And stealing. As I look at Gerion.
We're there. You're in on this. You're in.
Is it
Oh,
immoral?
we'll see what the magistrate has to say about that. My word versus yours.
Stop.
Divorce court, I'll take you for everything. No.
You're currently a handbag. I mean, an accessory.
Oh, I am. Well, I guess then we all go down together and do. But look, I
we
disbelieve.
stole from people who are doing bad things.
Oh
who mean
yeah,
other
they're
people harm.
summoning a snake monster.
Yes,
Well,
but there's
I
not
get that. Every now and then you have to kill a few husbands because they're bad. I get it.
a few
He ran
husbands.
into my knife 10 times.
Fell down the stairs, hit his head on the way.
Sometimes you do have to.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things. That's like old mafia rules with her right now, where she's like, "Look, all right,
Yes.
I can. It's not a lie if I myself believe it. I get it.
Okay,
You
okay.
have to protect your home.
We might. I think
My home.
we should get Fariha first, then go, because this is relevant to Fariha very much so.
Okay, I need to get into my house real quick. I need to get.
Are
Three
we
things.
gonna be safe?
It doesn't matter. I have to. And
Okay, Gerion, go with her. I'll stay outside with Goose Lady.
okay.
I'll go with Ortlieb.
Go with him, sorry.
Okay.
And I'll go outside with Goose Lady.
Okay, Gerion, I need you to get all the sausages, all of them.
All right.
Okay, and then I'm going to go into my room and I'm going to get 2 fresh aprons and my house deed
Oh yeah, the
and
deed.
my insurance policy.
Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that insurance exists in
Of
Aventuria.
course. Of course it does. It does now.
Yes.
But
Going
like,
to.
there's property. There's probably insurance.
Yeah. So I think
Yes.
we need to fetch Fariha and then either try and go through the sewers or try and find that secret door that Tu mentioned and like take the fight to them.
Yeah.
Based on what Graham said. That was not my original idea.
Yeah,
That
and
was
I
Graham's
think
idea.
that's part of our plan was to eventually do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Ortlieb
I
would
just want to
prefer-
cite whose ideas they were. I am an academic. I'm a black mage. So
See the footnotes.
Ortlieb would prefer the sewers at this point so we can clear out the path to his house. I mean, just
Yeah,
go straight
okay.
down.
but so we'd have to go to the palace to find Fariha?
She's in the past. It's past the temple district where all the big
She
townhouses
would
are.
be in the tournament grounds at the minute.
Oh,
with her
right.
parents.
Right, watching, right?
Watching.
Right.
stuff that's
Okay.
happening.
I'm like, we should fetch her. This involves her.
Yeah, you should.
I turned to
And-
Ortlieb. I'm like, can you get us in near the royals because you have a booth there, right?
Yes, I do. It is quite close to where they will be. That they're at the tournament there.
Okay.
I can.
So let's go to the tournament. Yeah. And I'm like, Goose Lady, you're a handbag now. Come with us.
Oh. She's reaches into a small bag that she does have, and she like nervously snacks on some food you can't quite see, and she's just like follows along.
So, question: does the goose goddess is it like not okay to eat goose, or is it extra sacred to eat goose?
I'd put it like this: there's nothing wrong with eating the geese, but you should probably make sure that you do it under the right circumstances.
Okay.
Should be done in friendship. Should be done with hospitality. Should be shared. There should be no selfishness. Should be enough geese for everyone.
I cooked a goose for Christmas last year in like real life, and it was so cool. Oh my god, it was so.
Oh my
fun.
gosh.
It's
moving on.
delicious.
So good.
It can be really good.
It was so good. And I had so much fat left over, and I cooked with it, and I made goose pate. Oh my god, it was so good. Okay.
That sounds good.
So, flashing back to my only experience with geese is being chased across a car park when I was
They
16.
are
Oh my god, Susie!
terrible.
I used to have battles with geese every day at work. They hiss.
You guys!
So
We'd hold our arms up like this and go, "Hee-ah!"
you make your way back to the tournament grounds.
We hurry. We like
Oh,
actually hurry.
Yes, you hurry to get to the tournament grounds, and you can see that the Maharani, the Shah, and Fariha are seated in the sort of royal box, watching they're watching the early sort of jousts that are happening. You can see a couple of knights charging at each other, doing a very good job. Actually, they're just
Okay.
breaking lances on each other's shields rather than anyone being on a horse. This is a very technical joust that's being
Oh wait,
held.
so they're like running?
No, they're
They're
on
not
horseback.
on horses? Oh, I think that rather than anyone's horse. So I thought you meant they're not on horses. They're running at each other with lances.
Special.
They're yeah, on foot joust. So there's it's not the big spectacle. This isn't anyone famous that's currently jousting, but it's still technically a very impressive bout, and it's gathering a lot of attention. And how are you planning on approaching this situation?
I'm like, Ortlieb, go take some food, take some sausage as like a refreshment to the thing, and then pass a message along to Fariha saying we need her right now, like secretly.
Sure. Yeah, I will.
And take a booth babe, and I point at the blacksmith who's there, right?
Yes. No, that's probably
he's
better.
booth babing, right?
Yes. He can booth babe. Booth babe, please. Give out some samples.
Yes, I'm like, Wolfgang, you look really hot, and give me a quick kiss on the cheek. And I'm like, take some sausage, serve it to the Maharani and the princess. And do we have a code? What can we tell her that will make her realize something's up?
We need to talk to you right now.
No, we can't let everyone else hear that.
Well,
Like, what
I mean,
code can the blacksmith tell the royal family as he serves them sausage? Oh, what about? Have you heard something about the village that burned down? Right, like that's very specific to her, right?
Yeah.
And what was the name of the village?
Oh crap! What did I call? Was it like? What did I call it? Oh
Do you
man, that
have
was
a
in
name?
episode
Jin
one.
takes notes well,
yeah,
right?
I'm looking. I don't have a name.
Okay,
I just
that village's
raided
name, right?
Village.
We can say, oh, these sausages are from this village. It's very good to visit. You should, in fact, go immediately. Just say that,
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
because that she will remember that. That's the village she tried to defend, right? So I'm like, Wolfgang, I believe in you, and I give him another kiss, and then a longer one.
All right. So Ortlieb and Wolfgang approach the royal box and seeing and being patted down to make sure that you're not carrying any sort of weapons. One of the guards eyes the sausages dubiously before he notes your official documents,
Yes.
which I'm sure Ortlieb presents.
One eye sausage dubiously.
And waves you through so you can approach the Maharani, the Shah, and Fariha, who are, paying attention to the joust. Fariha notices you and kind of does a double take before she pretends that she doesn't know who you are. But nonetheless, as you approach with the tray, she smiles warmly. The Maharani is too focused. She's too lost in the joust to notice you at present.
Oh,
The
she's
Shah-
actually a fan of sports. She's not just
She
like
is,
bored.
yeah. No,
Okay.
she's not just bored. She's like, oh, this is some good shit. I'm
Nice.
enjoying this. The Shah casts his eye over Wolfgang, and there's like a appreciative
Oh,
nod as he
wow.
casts his eyes upon your booth babe.
Oh wow.
Fariha smiles warmly and says, "Hello, sir. Are you one of the vendors? Save me." She's got that look on her face, like,
Yes!
"Please."
Ortlieb has the exact same look on his face.
does the blacksmith say his like password thing?
Yeah, Wolfgang says, "Oh, please try this sausage. It is from insert name of village from episode 1." And Fariha goes, "Oh, I know a name of village from episode 1." And she smiles. She takes a sausage and says, "Oh, this is delicious. Thank you very much. I must swing by your store later on to buy some for my parents here. Thank you."
And does the yeah, she says that. Sorry, I'm not there.
And as you give her the, "Oh my God, we need help" face, she sort of nods and she whispers quietly, "I'll be there in a moment. Just..."
This is so exciting,
Ortlieb-
you guys.
Ortlieb says way too loud, "I'll keep some on hold for you."
But the Maharani kind of looks behind like, what? She's back into the sport again. The Shah is too lost looking at Wolfgang and
I'm glad we brought him. He's so useful.
Yes.
he's enjoying the sausage before Fariha sort of leans over to her parents, and you hear her say as you walk away, "Oh, I just need to step away for a moment. Nature calls." As she sort of slips away and joins you a few moments later, Ortlieb, and she's like, "Thank the gods that you came. Wait, what's the matter?" You were terrified.
Are we in a private sort of place?
Yeah, it's a secluded sort of area.
Oh, am I also, if I'm talking too much, let me know, okay?
Good.
I briefly pull out the orb and I put it back in. And does she recognize it?
Her eyes grow wide. She's like, "How did you get one of those?"
And I turn to Gerion.
Found it.
You fucking stole it.
So,
I stole it.
I was experimenting with it, and I think the underground snake monster found us and sent an earthquake to our house.
She does that thing where she doesn't know where to put her hand on her face because she's exasperated. Did you touch it with your hand?
I just did so again.
Mm-hmm. Did you do that earlier?
Yes.
And what did you see?
A big eye, lidless, wreathed in flame. No, a red, slitty snake eye. It looked around the room that we were in, and then an earthquake happened.
Mm-hmm. And she's gone pale.
I didn't touch it.
Okay. So I assume something terrible has happened then in that case. I mean,
That's what I thought with the earthquake. And they're ghosts.
Okay, so let's just take it back a second. How did we get to ghosts from earthquake and snake?
The earthquake caused an underground tunnel collapse near the villa and sex shed. And then there were ghosts from in there. I heard the bad kind of moaning.
They ruined my caves, my mold caves.
Oh, well, that's tragic, genuinely tragic. I'm so sorry to hear that. And then she looks across at Goosewyn and goes, "And who's this?"
I'm a
Oh,
handbag.
she's a handbag now.
A handbag.
It's Grant's
Hello.
girlfriend or something.
I'm Sister Goosewyn. I'm a wild goose of Travia. Could I interest you in a delicious meal? And I hold up my goose pouch.
His pouch.
Or not.
While I would be,
It's an actual magic item.
while I would be ever so grateful and blessed to have a meal from someone blessed of Travia, now is really not the time. I have no appetite for food. So let me get this straight. You found that orb.
Well,
In the Magister's house?
so so there's a street kid, Jeff, and he said, I had him look at the magistrate's house.
His
to see if
son.
we could- and so I had him,
Congratulations.
and,
I just gave birth.
and he came back and said, hey, I found this place. He was looking for something, and he said it was a bunch of snake stuff in it. And so I was like, take me there. And he did. And then we opened it, and I didn't, I know how to get in places. And there was a lot of stuff. Is it just all the like his drawing is just like that's the only word he can think of. Books, there was a cape and a robe, there was this orb thing. And I found another book, and I'm assuming Tariq has it on him somewhere. I was hoping to get like the book that everybody signs their name in, but I don't think I found that.
Yeah, and so we think she's literally the head of the cult here because of the spell book. We what does it mean that I touched it with my hands?
Well, I mean, obviously we know that they know who you are, but now they know where you are, and they've seen the house. So it's probably not good for your property, Ortlieb. But also it's one more tether to this earthly realm that the creature needs to manifest its form physically. So that's probably not a good thing, especially.
So we, instead of making whatever location they wanted to manifest it, we made our villa and sex shed the place it's going to manifest?
Potentially. As I said, I'm not too fully versed in magical things. This is only what I've gathered secondary knowledge from my time in what I now know is a cult. I just thought it was very nice people with a good party. But so you felt an earthquake and part of your property collapsed.
A little bit. Not a question.
Yes.
What if we destroy this orb?
Would that help?
I don't think so.
Shit.
Okay, let's keep it. I might be able to subvert it. Maybe we can break into the fortress of the intellect of the creature. That sounds really dangerous. Yeah.
We can at least keep a cover on it.
Yeah, it's in the bag now. Yeah. So I'm like, so Gerion thinks we should go and confront the cult now. And we thought you might want to come with us, given that, your sword might be with them. And, the most important sword on the continent.
Mm-hmm. I do need to get that back. That is... Yeah.
So, do you want to come with us now? Wolf gang, I'll be there in a sec. We're just chatting with the princess.
Honestly, I would want nothing else. This tournament is killing me, and I cannot stand a second more of my father looking at me like that. So, yes, I would rather march to my death in a mysterious sewer in a part of the world I've only been in for, a month.
So you think we should go into the sewer directly?
Yes.
I mean, that's where the things was, right? That's what's been...
Oh, okay, so not to the temple. Okay, Gerion, that's our answer.
Yeah, go in through the sinkhole.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the villa.
If that's where, yes, I mean, you felt that the quake there, right? You felt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's probably manifested. Okay, do you have anything? You are dressed very. You look very nice, actually. I actually step back. I'm like, oh, wow, you look really nice. That's like really nice fashion choice.
And she looks down for a second. She's like, I may need to go get changed very.
I'm like, oh yeah.
Is the magistrate around?
I saw her 30 minutes ago, I think.
Here.
She's doing her rounds with the nobles,
Okay.
All right.
So,
And Garai's like looking out for her, seeing if he can find like the, like the official city.
Yeah.
livery or something.
I think as you are looking out in the crowd, you can see her rubbing elbows with all the other sort of city officials and some of the nobility that are here. She's making sure that they're well attended to. She's having pleasant conversation. Doing a polite golf clap when another lance is broken. She's out there. She's clearly preoccupied. If as you look her over, if she knows what's happened, she's not showing it at all.
Gotcha. Are any of the street kids that Garai's been making friends with around?
They are always around. They're
Okay.
always there in the back corner of your eye.
Hey.
And he's gonna wave one of them over.
Yeah.
I need you to get a message to 2. You know who 2 is? It's
Oh,
the-
no,
the
Tattooed
guy
face.
tattoos.
Yeah.
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 Stop
Yeah,
him
the
around.
prince?
That's- Yeah. Yes, Prince 2. Thank you. Tell
Yes,
him they
Prince.
know.
Royalty.
Tell
know?
them. Yeah, just that's all you have to say. They know. Maybe also say that
Meet us at the house because that's where we're going.
meet
right?
us at the house. They know who we are. All of us. And he's gonna, pat him on the head.
Yeah. The urchin scurries off to go find 2.
So we should tell the princess to get her stuff. And then, what was the title I made up for her? Oh, Dawn, Desert, Sun, or Twilight Desert, or something.
Yeah, and there's like radiance in there.
Radiance of the
somewhere.
desert, yeah. We should tell the Radiance of the Desert to fetch her stuff, and then we should all meet up at the house so we can go underground.
She says, if you give me 5 minutes, I don't even need to go get
Oh.
my stuff.
Okay.
And you see her disappear back to almost where she was previously. And you see her talking with a guard from her kingdom, who wears very similar armor to what she was wearing. And you can tell as she's walked up to a couple of them, she's sizing them up to see if they're of a similar size. And she comes back 10 minutes later wearing this guy's armor. There we go.
Can I take 2 minutes to rush up to Wolfgang before we leave?
Yeah, Wolfgang has now managed to get himself away from the Shah, who
Oh my god!
and he comes down and he's looking a little flustered as he smiles at you.
I go up to him and I take his hand and I look into his eyes very seriously, and I am like, "Hey, so I'm about to go do something really dangerous, and I might die. So," and I take out my spell book, which is, remember, a gift from my best friend in Fazar, right? From my roommate or whatever. And I hand it to him and I'm like, if I don't come back in 3 days, can you mail this to Fazar and with a message saying I died?
And his face goes really serious for a minute and he's like, yeah, I think I can do that, but
And then he looks really sad, so I immediately hug him. And my staff is on my back, right? So I immediately hug him really tightly, and I'm like, I will do my best not to die, but I think you're really cool. And I squeeze his butt before I leave.
and he giggles at that and he says, well, please don't die, and I'll see you in 3 days. Yeah.
Yeah, and if I become a ghost, I will try and haunt you. Don't worry.
Okay, but make it a sexy haunting.
You know it. I squeeze his butt again.
All right, and then you rejoin the group.
Oh, my blacksmith. I like him a lot.
Very good.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, so what is the plan, friends?
Should we?
Let's head back to that sinkhole.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm guessing if 2 arrives and sees the hole, he'll enter the hole.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we can leave him a note.
Right, when you
Always
see a
leave it
hole, you
open.
enter it.
Yeah.
Emma, I heard that.
Yeah. So Gerion, I think Gerion is also a little not intimidated, but now he knows who Fariha is, who her father is. Because in my mind, this is like the adventurer of all adventurers, right? He's got Zimatara. He's he's this famous. He's the husband of the Shah.
He's horny for my boyfriend,
right? Yeah. He's like what every swordsman aspires to be.
Yeah.
And so I think Gerion's kind of like, we gotta this is like a job interview. We gotta get this right.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Oh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Also, like we'd made a boo-boo, but we were like kind of like, what do we do next? What do we do next? Well, now we know what to do next, at least, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you stand, sorry, Emma, go ahead.
I want to do one thing while we're here, and I want it can be really resolved very quickly. I want to talk to the real estate agent, and I want to take out a supplemental insurance policy that pays off really high. I will put down 1,000 gold pieces on it right now. That's like a short-term thing. Just in case my house gets destroyed, I want to make sure I can.
The insurance agent was initially skeptical until you dropped that fat stack of 1,000 gold right on his desk.
And it's like nothing to Ortlieb to do that either. It's no big.
And he soon changed his tune as this money is just deposited in his lap, and he signs off on the papers with your additional insurance.
Like acts of God, specifically, like earthquakes and just dismembering, just any sort of
giant snakes,
anything that's a natural thing.
It is,
an act of God.
I mean, snakes are natural, right? Small snakes are natural, so maybe big snakes are natural.
I just want anything that you can't predict.
Hey,
I want to be prepared.
Fantasy world, we'll even say there's supernatural insurance because who knows, right? It's fantasy. Everyone knows that weird shit happens in fantasy, so why wouldn't there be insurance for it?
Yeah.
That's true.
This is a trade city. They got to do something with like making sure cargo is accounted for, all kinds of things.
Yeah, it is. You're right. It is a port city. Exactly. Yeah.
Tell you what, I might even just I'll just say listen, the people who had this house before me, I do not think they were leaving a saucer of milk out. I think this place has brownies. I'm not sure. But there's something.
Tell us there was a sinkhole there.
Yeah, weak foundations. Weak foundations.
The surveying job was subpar at best. I think even to add
let the buyer beware. Sorry.
Add insult to injury, they stressed to Goosewyn how important that this insurance would have been for her tavern. It's always that thing. Whenever you post online about my file corrupted, and someone's like, oh, you should have done a backup, that helps after
That's really
the fact.
helpful. Yeah.
I sent those chain letters, and they were supposed to protect me. Goosewyn does have one thing.
People, otherwise your house burns down. Yeah.
Goosewyn does have one thing that she can do, because she's kind of at the point where either she gets pulled into whatever dark, dangerous place with the party. I'd leave it up to them, or they can tell her to go toddle off. What do you do, Gerion Ortlieb?
Well,
Tariq has a say too, but
Gerion is he doesn't want her death on his conscience, so he wouldn't force her to do anything. But we could always use an extra pair of hands, and he might just even be like,
well, here's what she does. So this is her last goodie for the adventure. She reaches into her goose pouch, which is her little knit bag. She pulls out a small ring. Gerion, this ring is made out of a very rare edible called a coconut. I'd like you to wear this. And she pulls out a matching one. She slips it on. He goes, now, do you consent to wear this ring? We're not going to be married. I'm married to the church.
All right.
I'm married to the goose.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll consent.
All right. So if you put it on, if you are up to 12 miles away, she will be able to sense if you're wounded, if you're sick, if you're poisoned or something bad's going down. Likewise, you'll be able to sense whatever's happening to Goosewyn. So at this point, you have a band of caring. You care about her. Yes.
Coconut caring.
Yeah, so she gave you a band of caring from her goose pouch, so she can know if you're in trouble. And maybe fictionally, Goosewyn may be able to send aid if something bad befalls Gerion.
Sure.
It lasts for
Excellent.
6 days.
Oh, wow. What does this goose pouch do, Grant?
Yeah.
So the goose pouch is a sacred object. So in an upcoming supplement called Gods of Aventuria, they outline a bunch of different religions. And then they have a make sacred object rules in the core rules. And then you can make a bunch of different things. And Goosewyn had made a couple things pre-session, spending AP points to have in the goose pouch ready to go.
Nice.
So a filling meal, the bread of refreshment, which we framed as a pie, and then the band of caring.
Nice. Oh, I love this coconut band. Okay.
I think maybe before she leaves, he's gonna be like, I really am sorry about the inn. Like, I didn't know that was gonna happen. I just thought, the forest people deserve to be respected too. So really sorry about that.
It's all right. We'll send you an invoice. And she toddles off away because she's going to live sour. Leave
Goosewyn.
sour.
Goosewyn, I'm not done. Goosewyn.
Ortlieb.
If we don't return, but the villain's sex shed stay intact.
Don't tell her that. She'll burn it down. She'll be
I
like,
want it to be your new inn.
Wow.
You want this to be her new
bridal
inn?
suite.
She reaches, gosh, so, Fariha turned down her filling meal. She hands the goose pouch. She hands the meal to Ortlieb. She goes, have an egg, chunk of bread, one little sausage, and a lump of cheese. It'll feed you while you're down there. And I will watch the inn. And if you don't make it out, I will rebuild this, and we'll name it Ortlieb's Place.
And sex shed. Yes.
And sex shed.
Ortlieb Place and sex.
She tries to disbelieve that because she'll end up burning it down. She's like,
It's a euphemism.
Sex shed is the best part of this campaign, just saying.
it's true. She does have a 10 ranks in seduction. Wrong church, though. So, yeah, she's just like, Ortlieb's place and sex shed. All right.
I very quickly I scratch in her name, which is like in the case of my death or dismemberment, then the beneficiary is Goosewyn.
Oh no!
So even if I die and it gets destroyed, then you get to rebuild a house there.
If I die before I wake, you can have my birthday cake.
So, Grant, how bad does Goosewyn want this in? I am open to bribes.
Well,
That took me a sec to get. I'm like,
well, I would no longer have to wander all of Aventuria as a vagabond priest begging in the gutter.
Goose wander.
Mendicant.
You will be like
I'm a
the
wild goose. Yeah. She is. She's an order of the wild goose. She's been sentenced to this as her penance for losing the inn.
All right. Okay. So, as you three, Tariq, Ortlieb, and Gerion, stand at the mouth of the sinkhole looking down, you can see that it clearly does lead into the sewers beneath Havana. And once more, you can hear that
the
ghostly
bad
moaning
moans,
coming
the
from
bad
within.
moaning. Yeah.
And as Goosewyn walks off into the sunset of the city of Havana, I think this is actually probably a really good place to end our episode today before we delve into the dungeon of the sewers without two and get into more trouble. But this was the silliest episode I want to say that we have had. Thank you all so much for joining us on this journey. We are hereby banned from doing any more evening recording sessions because they are unmitigated disasters. But I have had so much fun today. Thank you everyone for joining us. And thank you everyone for playing. Before we do say goodnight again, we'll just go around like we usually do and just say who we are, when you can find us on the internet. I'll go in the same order I went the first time. So Jim.
Yes. Hi. Yeah. So I am Jim, co-host and creative director of WebDM. You can find us all over the place. We're on our YouTube. We have, YouTube, our WebDM channel over on YouTube, WebDM Plays. You can find our podcast on on all major podcast platforms. We're all over the place. Come check us out if you enjoy advice and inspiration for D&D, Aventuria, any RPG, really. We got them all. Come check us out.
Thank you very much. Emma.
Yes, I apologize or say thank you so much for the opportunity to completely fuck this one up. I got the giggles today. Those of you who have seen a lot of things on WebDM Plays know that I sometimes do get the giggles, although usually it's not so bad that we have to stop recording. So sorry. In real life, I am the acting CEO of WebDM, so I actually do serious things all day somehow. And I'm so happy that you're all with us. Please follow everybody here and check out all the great work that everybody does. Thank you.
Emma, your giggles today have given me such life. Thank you. Sharang, hello friend. How you been today?
Good. That was very fun. I love how every episode I get a boyfriend scene is just really nice. Because I'm living alone right now because my actual partner is in France. So I'm Sharang Biswas. You find me, the Twitter is there, and I had a great time. I'm excited. I quickly want to say first thank you to those of you who listened and maybe backed Strange Lust, Strange Loves. We were 177% funded. So thank you, all of you. Even if you just sent positive vibes, that is very good. And remember, most of the stories will be up for free on Strange Horizons next fall. So all of you can take part, even if you didn't take part in the Kickstarter. Quick plug, I am there a couple of days left, depending on when this comes out, for the Xeno Language Kickstarter by Thorny Games, which, remember, is a RPG that uses a sort of Ouija-ish board, but it's about alien translation based on the movie Arrival. It's a really good game. They're the ones who made Dialect and Sign, which are like Indiecade winning and things like that. So do check that out. I am one of the game designers as part of they're releasing a companion project called Games to Bind Us as part of the Kickstarter. And I'm designing a game about hosting a alien foreign exchange student for a week and the shenanigans that happen. So do check out that Kickstarter of Thorny Games. Does really, really good work. And they do things like a lot of the money that they make for Sign goes towards like deaf education and things like that. So do check out that Kickstarter. They're a really cool company and project. It's called Xeno Language.
Thank you very much. That sounds kick-ass. And Grant, thank you for being our special guest today and bringing such great energy with Goosewyn. And thank you first and foremost for the pie.
Goodness gracious. Yes, playing a pious woman is the part I was born to play. You'll see me in the after show. I'm just an old chunk of coal. The best way to support me is to support these folks by watching and supporting the WebDM Plays in its entirety, as well as the main show on Wednesdays. You can find me on Twitter at WisePapaGrant, as well as I'm the Dungeon Master in Residence at the Games Tavern Twitch channel. If you watched the last episode of Dragon Talk, they interviewed me about how to run one-shots, so I break down for Shelley how to put together exciting one-shots. And you can also watch me run the Dark Eye as a one-shot. Shout out to Ulysses Spila for providing me with the Gods of Aventuria sourcebook, which has not been released yet, which served as kind of the basis of giving me a bunch of material for putting together a priest of Travia, a blessed one of Travia. And thanks just for you players for always accepting my shenanigans and having me around. Goosewyn may or may not return again, but she'll always live on in our hearts.
And every time I look at a pie. As for me, I am Susie, otherwise known as Susanna Grace. I'm a variety streamer. I do video games, I do art streams, and I do tabletop RPGs. You can find me all over the internet at Susanna Grace, where I stream at the minute a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2 roleplay as I play a French school teacher who is also a robber on the run from the law, which is a lot of fun. And then when I'm not doing that, I am GMing on Encounter Roleplay. And then I'm also the media and marketing coordinator for Black Cats Gaming, who are an independent tabletop RPG company who just made the Spy Game, which is a 5e powered game of international espionage and action. And it's a lot of fun. And I get to play it soon for the first time. So please do tune in for that and pick up a copy if you want to. But that is it from us for today. Thank you again so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.